Everyone, welcome to our city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, December the 5th at 2 o'clock p.m. We are at, 2:02 p.m. I call this meeting to order. Okay. And if we can have the record reflect that we do have quorum. And we will begin with our invocation and then pledge of allegiance. Our invocation will be led by Deacon Fred Frazier. And then if you don't mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, Council Member Sandra Bowen.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, what a blessing you are to us, Lord Jesus. You have provided us such a beautiful day and beautiful weather, Lord. We're thankful for that, Lord, and we just give you all praise and glory for all that you do, Lord. We ask you to lead this city as we move forward, Lord, and may we make smart and wise decisions based on what is needed in priority, Lord. May you provide the things we need to get these things taken care of, Lord. May you bless the council. May you bless the mayor. May you bless the first responders, the police, the fire department, and the EMS people, Lord. Will you be with those with the sheriff's department, Lord? Be with our brothers and sisters fighting in the armed forces who are out of the country, Lord, and watch over and protect them. May you continue to bless this country, Lord, and may you watch over us and take care of us. And everything that you do, we're so grateful for, and we give all praise and glory to you, Jesus. And these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Place the flag, put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Oh,
Who's that?
I'm
I'm sorry.
We got a special visitor.
Hello, hello. You ready?
Everything. Y'all are welcome to come and have a seat if you would like. Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item. We have our public comments, and I don't see any before me, but before we move on, of course, someone has asked to speak,
Oh, thank you, Mayor.
and then after that, we'll hear our council members.
And that, because it's an important date for me, an important date for the nation, I just like everybody to remember Pearl Harbor Day. It's coming up on December the 7th in 2 days. And, and I've said it before, is that that generation saved the world, and we just need to remember that. And then secondarily, in the spirit of the season, I forget. And I forget because, I just get involved in life and whatnot, but I forget that the support and the love that the community has shown to my family and myself over the last 30 years that we've been here. And for those of you who know, I had a surgery where I had my shoulder replaced here about, it was in April this year, and that I'm pretty much over it, still going to therapy, but yesterday I was at HEB, and I was stopped by 3 people that were asking me about my shoulder and how I felt, and it just really touched me. And I'm thankful for everything the community's done for us, and I am doing better, and I appreciate that. But thank you guys.
Okay. Thank
John.
you.
That's great.
And thank you for always remembering that day, to observe, for us to remember and observe that day. And I'll move on to our council members. Mr. Beltran,
I'm good, man.
Mr. Molina.
I just want to welcome everybody here today, and I want to thank staff for kind of spiffing up the place and putting everybody in the spirit. I mean, it was kind of refreshing walking in and seeing everything kind of lit up again. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do, and it's been a great year.
Exactly, ditto. He stole my words when I walked in. I was like, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Isn't that great? Merry Christmas to everybody, because I know we probably won't see you till after Christmas. And have a happy new year, and remember your blessings and share your blessings. This is the time of the year that it's really needed and really appreciated. So, and welcome everybody. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you to the staff and everybody for this. This looks absolutely beautiful, like the other council members have said. It really brought home Christmas for me. And for everybody at home, please enjoy your holidays, your Christmas and New Year's, and don't forget to hold your loved ones a little bit harder and appreciate all the good times that you have. Bless you all.
Thank you, Council, and to say the same, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, because I don't think we'll have another meeting before then, and thank you to the staff and our employees. Thank you so much for all those decorations. They're so beautiful, and putting us in the spirit. Mr. Esparza, thank you. I know sometimes you don't get those accolades, because you're behind the scenes. All of y'all are behind the scenes, but thank y'all. Thank you for your hard work.
That's Nellie and
Nellie.
Odie's idea to do this. So
Nellie and Odie,
not much for decorating.
oh, I
And they did a
I
good
kind
job.
of knew that part, but you get. Thank you, Odie and Nellie, and then Eddie. I know sometimes he says I forget him. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so moving on to our agenda. We're moving on to agenda item 4, which is our presentations. We have several presentations. I will go down the line and read the first two. 4.1 is recognition of retired Alice Fire Department firefighters Reynaldo Escamilla Jr. and Jose Alberto Esquivel Jr. And then 4.2 is a presentation of proclamation for Small Business Saturday, supporting small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and to shop small throughout the year. Okay, I'd like to read the proclamation. I don't have anyone here to receive the proclamation, and then we'll go to the recognition. The proclamation is from the Office of the Mayor of Cynthia A. Carrasco. Whereas the government of Alice, Texas celebrates our local small businesses and contributions they make to our local economy and community. And whereas, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, there are 33.2 million small businesses in the United States. Small businesses represent 99.7% of firms with paid employees. Small businesses are responsible for 62.7% of net new jobs created since 1995. And small businesses employ 4.64% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. And whereas 68 cents of every dollar spent at a small business in the United States stays in the local community, and every dollar spent at small businesses creates an additional 48 cents in local business activity as a result of employees and local businesses purchasing local goods and services. And 72% of consumers reported that Small Business Saturday 2022 made them want to shop and dine at small independently owned retailers and restaurants all year long. And whereas Alice, Texas supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities, and advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now therefore, I, Cynthia Carrasco, Mayor of the City of Alice, Texas, do hereby proclaim November 25th, 2023 as Small Business Saturday in Alice, Texas, and urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and to shop small throughout the year. Thank you so much. It's so important to support our small businesses. And thank you to all our small businesses out there. Okay, council, if you will join me in offering certificates of appreciation to our firefighters that are retiring.
Mayor, firefighter Escamilla wasn't able to be here today. I believe he's had prior arrangements. But I do have firefighter Joe Esquivel here, and I'll call him and his family up. Correct.
There are no words that can describe our love and gratitude for the years of dedicated service to the City of Allen Fire Department and our community. You will always be in our hearts, and you will never be forgotten. Thank you so much for your service, Seth, for you and your family. And congratulations, thank you. You can- Take a picture. Do you want to come up? Congratulations. And we can take a picture with the flag. Yeah, whoever has the
They got his sons and
Here,
everything here.
I'll- Bring them on in.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
We can step back.
Do you want to go? Oh, you can go for sure.
Excuse me, can you just wait 1 minute, Eddie?
Oh, this is a family moment.
No, that's okay. No, that's what I meant. Right here. Ready? Oh, there's one more. Oh, okay. Oh, baby. Oh, my gosh. Aw. Yes. And if we'll have all the firefighters, the brothers, to come stand.
Even if it's up on top.
In the back?
Yeah, they can fit them in the back.
Yeah, around there. Oh, yeah, I can also take a picture with all you. Oh, they'll look fire. They're gonna go up and see. Nice. Where's Pastor? Yeah, it's right here.
This is a photo.
It is, this is.
We should probably step back. Yeah. Get everybody back. Maybe I'll stay back, maybe let's get everybody so we can.
Yeah, come on back.
No, I'm okay.
Turn around. Careful. Right, you're related.
Yeah.
I'm coming. That's nice. Oh, wow. Did you get honey? Oh. One more. Okay. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Val, for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations. Merry Christmas. How are you? Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dos Mauricio, I thought it was because you look like Wow. Wow. So you do help us. Even though you're asking. I know you appreciate it. Right here. Anyway.
Your family for sharing that.
Yes, your entire family. The city can't thank you enough for everything you did for all of us.
After fighting with the chief because the trucks were red and white and
They didn't like him.
So backstory, he's from Robstown, and every time we order something, I would threaten him, I'd say, hey, we're gonna order the trucks orange and white, man. I won't get it.
At least I see where I said, put it in the red pot or something.
We did, he doesn't know yet, but we did get him a t-shirt, it says Allen Fire Department, but it's orange, it's orange. And it has the shield, sorry.
Like I said, the honor's all on this side. Thank you for allowing us.
I didn't think I was gonna get 25 years. I was shooting for 30.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas. God bless y'all.
Training and everything will live on with all these. They speak so highly of you.
We can help with that. You okay? All right, okay. Okay. You're like,
That's awesome. Thank you for everything. Because it's a lot to sacrifice as a family that, because of the 2 days off, so on and so forth.
thank you, sir.
God bless you all.
I didn't. I said we have a special guest on the dais.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because when I go on set, I'll actually sit on the side and right up, so it gives me crow's feet and all that too. Oh, wow. Look over.
Oh, that is, so awesome. Yes. I don't know. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Where you out?
Yeah, it's one of my.
Again, just a thank you to Mr. Escamilla and Mr. Esquivel for their years of service. We're gonna miss them.
That's a little too much.
Thank you to their families for sharing them with us. Thank y'all. Okay, moving to 4.3, presentation and/or discussion by Ruben Lopez with Tejano Roots. This is put on the agenda by Councilmember Mrs. Sandra Bowen and Mayor Pro Tem Mr. Robert Molina.
Ruben was here, I don't know.
Thank you,
God bless
ma'am.
you.
God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
He's over there talking.
Trying to get some donations.
Mayor, Robert, Mr. Molina and I put this under presentation so that Mr. Lopez can elaborate a little bit more on the event that they have coming up in January, especially to our new council members, to update them on what has happened since then and what's going on in the future, so.
No
thank you, Ruben.
stranger to the city of Alice.
Mayor and council, thank you for allowing me to be here, of course, with my good friend Joe Lozano. We want to just come by and let you know what's going on and to let you know that you are a big part of this organization in both events that we do. We wanted to come in and let you know that we've been working closely with the hotels to make sure that they can give us a good rate. And of course, our inductees, they get a package about hotels, restaurants, all the stuff that Alice has to provide during their stay here for 2 or 3 days. Of course, we put the hotel's names, phone numbers, all the information so they can call. We go there and we block so many rooms, and after we meet the numbers, they'll tell us they can increase the numbers at that price or they'll go to the regular price. So we have a good relationship with all the hotels, even the one on 281 out there also.
Thank you for including that.
And also, we have people coming from all over the United States, California, Oregon, from the casinos, Casino del Sol, Arizona, We have a band coming out of there. They're Indians. They play like Ramon Ayala Intocable. They are awesome. I'm also inviting you to please, if your schedule allows, be our guest. We want to show you what's out there instead of what we're used to hearing around 200 miles away. They're awesome. And of course, we have a quick kickoff dance happening January the 5th and 6th to the KC members that allow us to have that event there, and of course to the commissioners and the judge for allowing us to have it at the fairgrounds. So we wanted to share that information, let you know that we're doing our part and be able to tap into the hotel funds, and to let you know that we're really enjoying what's coming up for Alice and putting Alice back in the map in that particular time of the year, and helps again to, of course, the downtown event that is free. We're the last organization that is doing something here for the city of Alice, and both events, the city of Alice has helped us. So I'm going to let Joe talk a little bit, and then I'll come back, and then we'll finish our time here, and I thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not much of a talker. All I can say is thank you, Merry Christmas, and thank you, the City of Alice, for making Alice la cuna de la música tejana, the cradle of Tejano music. We have had a lot of great musicians that were born in the City of Alice, and this is one way that the City of Alice can say that we're doing something good for the city, because it's promoted all over the U.S. There's so many people that were, well, you could say people that used to live here in Alice that had moved all over the U.S. So when we have these fiestas, reunions, in other words, we put a little more fertilizer in our city. We bring our culture back, our music, and the best thing that we do is make Alice strong. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lozano.
Joe, if I haven't said thank you again for what you do for me. I love Joe. Joe is a person that has a lot of information, and of course, this year we've had a couple of interviews with Channel 3 and 6, and of course, we're very excited to have a Lifetime Achievement Award, the JV Lifetime Achievement Award, which will be presented to Rudy Trevino, which is very known in this industry, and also the Domingo Show, which will be celebrating 60 years in the making, from organizations that go and try to advertise what they're going to be having, to our very own Robert Ray, was there at the Domingo Show, got one of his stars out there. So they help country, Tejano, pop, everything, and we needed to recognize that organization. And of course, it's a big celebration. It's a big party, a reunion for those musicians. And like I say, we do get some out there that they're hitting their 80s and 90s, and never have received an award. And this is an award that you received it once. There's probably going to be 3 that have received it more than once, but they've done so much for this organization. So I won't take too much of your time. Congratulations to the new council. I'd love to see y'all maybe come out there and say a couple of words representing the city council, and open the weekend. So if you have any questions, I'd love to, if I can answer anything for you.
I just had a real quick comment, cultural traditions are just that, traditions, and you stop doing them, no longer traditions, right? And as we kind of move on, if it's kind of out of sight, it's out of mind, and the fact that y'all are keeping this alive, over all these years, because as the world becomes more digital and whatnot, I mean, things are just different, right? Cultures change, and we all kind of, the diversity's kind of, here and there. But I appreciate you keeping it going, and I know it's not easy, and I appreciate councils past that have kind of put these things in place to kind of help you all kind of have these events, because they are expensive, and in this day and economy, it's not easy, and coming from a background of kind of the experience we've had together, it's not easy coordinating these things and getting sponsors and doing everything you have to do. So I tip my hat to you all, and I appreciate y'all keeping that alive for Alice, because, I mean, with the oil field kind of up and down around here, it's nice to know that you guys are still stable and kind of keeping that alive for us. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
La música te
I want to say, Ruben, thank you for always doing what you do and continuing with the traditions. And Mr. Lozano, when I was growing up, there was 3 people that were very influential in my day-to-day, and that was Ronald Reagan. He was the president. Channel 3 News was Joe Gazen. And on the radio it was Este Lunes. That was my social media. And those are the people that when I would see the radio, it was Joe. On TV it was Joe Gazen. TV was Ronald Reagan. So you're in great company. And thank you for, making an impression in my head. And I'm sure you did it for a lot of people. And thank you for everything you do. Continue doing. Este Lunes.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lopez, you mentioned that you love Mr. Lozano, and I can guarantee I love him too. He's got a place in my heart, always will. And I love what y'all do for our community, bringing everybody together, outsiders and insiders. But can you please let us know again, repeat the dates for the event that's coming up in January?
Thank you. I was trying to.
That's okay.
Remember this will be happening, of course, the first weekend of January the 5th and the 6th. The 5th will be a kickoff dance at the KC Hall, starting from 8 to 12 with 3 bands. And of course, on Saturday, doors open at 4:30. We start the ceremony at 5:30, and it'll be at the Jim Wells County Fairgrounds.
Thank you.
Mr. Lozano, Mr. Lopez, I mean, hats off to you guys for all the work you all have done throughout the years. I remember when, I believe it was your dad was in charge of everything, and just the way that everybody worked together, and then when you took over, the way things continuously flow so beautifully. And you're one of the gems of the city. You really are, because you like you say, you put Alice out there to the world. We're the Tejano Roots capital, and just everything that you all do, it's humbling to be part of it, and to help you all as much as we can, just to say thank you for everything you do too.
And of course, this is the birthplace of Tejano music, the only official organization recognized by the state of Texas.
Yes, and we have a Tejano Roots Museum also.
Yes, and the museum's open those days where we have people coming from all over the place. Please, I ask you, if your time allows you, to please go by there to see what this organization does and brings so many people from all United States to Alice. And we work closely also with other organizations, other award ceremonies, and we also go and visit them to learn. They learn from us. We support each other. If we can support each other, we can do more. So that's what I try to do. And again, you need to understand that you are a big part of this organization. From other councils that have been here to support us, to the support of the people. Like you said, it is a big project. The city provides, we provide, our sponsors provide. And if we didn't have the support of them, we wouldn't be able to do and make it grow and grow and grow all the time. So thank you for your time. And I hope I can see y'all if anybody else has any questions.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you so much.
Oh, you have anything, Joe?
Just say thank you, and Tejano Roots, what we promise, we deliver. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Joe,
Bye, Joe.
can you say Este Lunes on the mic?
This is his saying
Can you
on Mondays, and of course he had the
Yes.
Monday night
can you say it on the?
dances.
All right.
What made Alice famous, I guess. Este lunes, el baile grande de Joe Lozano presenta a Robert Ray.
Ladies and again. It was an honor being here, and like I say, man, just if you ever get to spend some time with him, spend it.
Yep.
Because, you know, life is short, and we can learn a lot from him. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you.
That was great.
I don't know if Bill can
You can't top that,
How do you follow? How do you follow that?
sit down, Bill.
Okay, 4.4, presentation by Bill Norris with Norris Leal. Okay, let's hear the,
I am speechless. Mayor, Council, I want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year coming up. I am blessed and I feel like I'm part of the community, and you make not only myself but everybody else that comes here feel that way. So with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about water. And so we have a kind of a usual report. This is probably the last of the usual reports. Seven Seas is going to come up, and I won't steal any of their thunder because they are breaking ground. But we continue to communicate. I think the success of any project is communication. So we have a three-way, actually a four-way communication between the city, Seven Seas, Norris Leal, and the Water Development Board. Sometimes it gets to be kind of a bog down because, you know, like I say, in most of these meetings, we have private money that goes a certain speed and public money that goes a certain speed. And they don't always go together. So we really have to work together to make that happen. And so there's one critical project that we're working on. I mean, they're all critical, but the critical path of getting water to Seven Seas is the bid that we took about 2 months ago. So we're still waiting on Water Development Board for their approvals to get going on that. Our contractor is taking it upon himself to, even though he doesn't have the final documents, getting submittals to us. So we're not slowing down, but it's not as easy because we have to get all the approvals first before we can really get started. So that one, and I just have you take a look at the schedule attached. And so this is really after we've done just about everything we can do. We have designed 95% of all the project. You know, if you recall, we couldn't really get started until the environmental things were done, and so we've rushed to get the projects ready to bid. And so we plan on submitting everything that we have on the design side by this month. The Water Development Board likes to have 2 months for review. Then they have another probably month to review the contracts. So there's 3 months of reviews to all these projects. So we try to, what we did on the well electrical is we actually bid it before we ever got, we took a risk that we bid the project without having approval from the Water Development Board, which they said was okay, but we need to have water. And so we may have to do that again. And so we have a good communication with the Water Development Board. It's just that they're fairly short-staffed in getting their projects reviewed. But the main thing is getting water to the initial startup to the plant, and we expect to have that to probably still in end of March, first part of April. And I think they're still along lines with getting with their project going in the same schedule. So the rest of the projects is well, mainly well number 2, which provides the water for the full capacity. And it's probably, you know, it probably won't be started up till the summer. But on the good side is we want to start up this project slowly and methodically because you're changing your water source and you want to just slowly bring it into the system. So we're working to get that developed. There are some long lead time items, and you'll see the last project down here, cooling tower and pump station, not going to be done till 2025. That's not as critical as, because we can still treat water, put it in the system with well number 1. Well number 2 will bring more water, would be less blending. The temperature of the water is hot, and so we want to cool it down. But when the first well is on, we're blending about 50-50 with surface water, the existing water system, and the well water, which is the hot water. And so we're waiting to do that because if the well number 2 comes up to be cooler or changes conditions as we operate, we don't want to spend that money. So I kind of postponed that so that we're not spending $2 million we don't need to spend. So that's kind of the whole thing in a nutshell. We're going to be working out here for a year and a half while they may be still waiting on some water, but we have water and we'll have drinking water to the city in springtime, early summer. Maybe not at full, but half capacity.
Council, any questions, Mr. Beltran?
Mr. Norris, the initial blend, you said would be 50/50?
It'll vary depending on the demand. I think so. We're looking at probably $1.5 million from the desal plant, and then the rest of the water will be made up by the surface water. And your average is what, about 3.5? So it'll vary from 50 to 60%.
And once the second well is complete, would it still be at that rate, or are we going to drop?
You're going to be, at some points, you're going to be at 100% desal water. But typically, you want to keep the surface water plant running maybe at 10% at the minimum. You don't just shut it down.
Right.
And so then, and that just gives you, make sure your equipment's running.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
Mr. Molina?
Okay, so did I understand you, like, we'll be at 100% desal water?
It's in the winter when so their capacity is going to be 2.7 million gallons per day, and your minimum usage is probably around that much. And so let's say 90% because you want to still keep your water treatment plant running.
Okay, so,
It's going to be your primary source of water.
right,
Right.
okay. So we'll never just be off it completely?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Sorry,
we'll never just be off it completely.
Off the ground,
Off the-
groundwater?
yeah.
Surface water.
Surface water, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we want to keep that channel open, and I mean, that plant has capacity to go up and down quite a bit. And so what, when we get down to those months where we only need the 2.7 or 2.8, or, we can do, that's when we'll be doing, any kind of maintenance or any kind of repairs to the surface water plant and things like that. But we do, I mean, we've had it for a long time. We plan on keeping it operational, just not at the capacity we have right now. The 10% is kind of where our threshold would be on a regular basis. Now, of course, in the summer, when we get up to above the 3.5, that's when we do need to have that extra water from the surface.
That's pretty typical with other, like, municipalities that switched over.
It varies because some aren't switching over completely. They like to maybe do 50-50 all the time. But one of the thoughts was let's early on to shut one of the plant down and just be on one. But you're in an enviable position for most having 2 sources of water. And so I would never recommend that you give up one, even if you just use a little bit of it.
And what's the main reason of the 50-50 blend?
Because in most cases, in a lot of cases, the desalinant brackish is more expensive than their other source of water. Or if it's about equal, then they want to use that as a base load plant. Let's say if their average is 2 million gallons a day, but they can treat 4. They just want to run the RO plant at 100% capacity all the time and let the other source of water pick up the peaks along the way.
Okay.
So, because you don't really want to shut down your desal plant. It operates most of the efficiency at 100% capacity or 90% capacity at least.
And are we still on track to see water in March, we said?
Yeah, that's the initial startup, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
You bet.
Mrs. Bowen?
Well, I know that, this desal water plant is to help with the water restrictions that we talked about in the past, from like when Corpus is on water restrictions, since we buy their water from there, you know, like currently they're on restrictions. Michael, we're still on restrictions as of February,
Yeah, well, we're still in stage one voluntary.
stage one
And,
voluntary.
what was today? 86.
That's what I was wondering what the levels were.
We're, on Friday, Lake Corpus Christi was at 86.4. Once we get under 86, we get on stage two, which is the mandatory restrictions. But we are going to have to redo our drought contingency plan.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're working on slowly, but we'll bring that back up once we start having that other source of water.
But it's a good thing, so thank you for your time.
Hey, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Garza?
I know that we've been at mercy of the chemical companies. Their prices have been going up astronomically. We use that to treat our groundwater. And we will be saving once we start switching over. But my curiosity question, just as a total layman to all of this, when you take the salt out of the salt water, does it run through a filtering system? Is it a light system, a reverse osmosis? I'm not exactly sure how is it.
So
that-
it's reverse osmosis. It's osmotic pressure. The water runs by a membrane, and by osmosis runs through the pure water runs through the membrane, and the reject goes off to the side.
Okay.
So you can typically say about 75% of the water is drinkable, well, is treated, 25% goes off to waste. And that varies anywhere from 25 to, or 25 to 15 to 25%, depending on the system. This particular system, I'm sure they can answer that specifically, but that's a rule of thumb.
Okay. And I don't know if you would know this information, but the where we're drilling the water out of, what kind of life expense do we expect to get out of that? Is it one of those that it continuously rejuvenates, or?
I would, and this is, I don't know if it's a professional opinion, but you'll be pumping this thing for 50 years and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference in the drawdown of the water.
Awesome.
So I'll give you, that was a question when we were looking at, someone had that question and whether it was a public hearing or not. So our groundwater hydrologist said, if you were able to drill, sheet pile around Jim Wells County and never have any water coming out of it, you'd have as much water there as all the surface water combined in the state of Texas. I mean, when you think about it, you're all standing on water. We're all standing on a lake of water, and it's. You know, I'm just relaying that information. I didn't put my seal on it, but I believe it.
That's great. No,
If that answers your question,
It does.
There's enough there.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you. The one thing that I always had is just the combining and the chemical reactions. I'm still kind of just
Yes,
worried about all that.
and this happens in every place that has the two sources of water. You don't just haphazardly turn the treatment plant on and expect to have some. You would expect to have some issues, but so what we do is there's a corrosion control study that we are doing so that we take the water from the surface water, all the different conditions, and as you go in there, if you just instantly put water in there, you might have the pipes have materials on there, and if you just shock it, then you would have some issues. So what we're doing is methodically making sure that there's no issues.
Trying to mix it to make sure it's
When it's
the
mixed.
same.
And
Very
it will be
close
mixed
to.
inside the tank, and that will be distributed. It won't be, you put the RO system in one part of the city and the surface water in another part of the city. It all comes from the same mixed source.
Okay.
You think we can bottle it?
I would, I suggest,
Make some money.
Alice.
Alice Springs.
Alice Springs.
So and we've looked at places where, put a small bottling facility, and then you could sell it at HEB.
I like to bottle it and I'll just drink it here.
Okay.
We'll talk.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Next, we have agenda item 4.5, presentation by Tom Williams with Seven Seas. Hello and welcome.
Council, you guys don't see Tom Williams very much, but Demetrio and our staff and Gabriel and everyone sees him almost
Quite a
weekly
bit.
or every other week, so you know him pretty well. But you guys may not recognize him so well.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, Michael. I saw a lot of you at the groundbreaking months ago.
Yes.
So I was in town working on the project that I would stop in and give just a quick update. First of all, I wanted to, thank you for letting me enjoy the ceremony you did. It's good to see small town appreciation for a firefighter retiring, so kind of neat to see. Also, I wanted to thank the city staff for helping us, Demetrio, Michael, Hector, David Garza. Everyone's been very, very cooperative in helping us get settled in, understand your system, Michael, and how we're going to integrate into that. So that's been a big help. We really appreciate that. So where we're at, we've obviously broken ground. We've gone out to bid and have hired a general contractor, Rockin' H Ranch Services. Jenna and Brent, the owners of the company here. So we're excited that we were able to select a local contractor. Very confident in their capabilities. So far, they're doing a great job, and we expect that to continue through the rest of their scope of work. So we appreciate that. They're also, because they're local, they're going to hire other local contractors. So that's good to keep it from the community, keep everyone involved, and keep the economy going on here. When Seven Seas staff comes and others, we do try and stay in Alice. I'm staying here just to get a feel for the community. Once we get the plant going, we'll get more involved with community outreach and sponsorships and some of that stuff. That all comes later on, but we're happy and excited. It isn't a very important project for Seven Seas Water, so I know it's a groundbreaking ceremony. I was quite surprised how many people showed up, but that's just a testament to how important it is for everyone here. So that was good to see, and we're aligned with you on that. As far as the project schedule, we are on track. We broke ground. We're doing all of the civil works. So Rockin' H Services is doing the facility, I'll call it, itself, building the foundation, the building, all the interior offices. The next stage is to bring in a mechanical contractor to start installing all the RO equipment, and then that would be followed by an electrical contractor. We've got 90% of our materials purchased. I've held off on shipping some, but come January, there's going to be an onslaught of materials showing up and staging and getting ready for that next phase of construction. That will probably take place end of January, first part of February, with mechanical work and then electrical work to follow shortly after that. So we're on track to be in a position to start commissioning by the end of March. So right now I'm looking at end of March to mid-April to get commissioning done and be able to start doing that initial blend like Bill was explaining. It's going to be low and slow just so we don't shock the system. It'll be mostly around our surface water, and then we'll slowly ramp up the RO system and back off on surface water. So I don't have a lot to report. I wasn't really quite prepared to do this, but just thought I would stop in and have a name to the face and meet everyone, see if you have any questions on what we're doing.
Okay. Council, any questions? Mr. Beltran?
Tom, thank you for your efforts, and everyone's watching this.
I know.
Not only the entire state's watching.
Yeah.
We're getting calls from everywhere, and your business is fixing to boom in the area. Everybody's so excited about this project.
Well, we're hoping for that. We're going to make this successful for the
We've
city.
got a lot of calls from everywhere.
Okay.
And thank you for hiring local business people. That's huge. That means a lot to us. And because those dollars get back into our economy. Thank you for doing that.
Yes. Well, they earned it. It was all competitive, and they did a good job, and very confident in their capabilities.
We have no doubt, we know the Hoffmans. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Mr. Medina?
I just appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll turn on that water in April, March, April, something like that.
Crank it on.
Anxious about it. It's been a long time coming, so appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mrs. Bowman?
Well, Tom, thank you so much for your report, bringing that forward to us. It's always refreshing to hear new, progress like that. Rocky and H, the Hoffmans are wonderful people. I love them. Their work is good. I can vouch for them. And regarding what Mr. Beltran said about the community and our surrounding community areas that are interested in what the City of Alice and Seven Seas and Bill Norris and TW, Texas Water Development Board are doing here, it's new and it's exciting. And I go to events, and with other municipalities, and they're like, what's going on in Alice? What is this water source, So it's good to hear that feedback. So
Okay.
thank you all for being
Great.
here.
Great,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
it is exciting.
Mr. Williams, absolute pleasure having you here. I thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to stop and continuously updating us. And I will say that when myself, the mayor, and Councilman Beltran, we went to a TML training in Dallas, and most of the time when we were speaking to individuals, they were just asking us about this project, and people are watching, they really are, and they're really interested in it. And we're very excited to be the pioneers with you and blazing through this. So thank you for all the work that you've done.
All right, yeah, thank you. It is the first P3 brackish project, and it's great working with Norris Leal, Michael, and his staff, and really looking forward to this.
And I've had a call with Onion Creek twice to talk about our project. They're wanting to do what we're doing because they're at capacity. They're right south of Austin, and also Agua Water District in the Valley. I think they have about 40,000 customers, and they can't build a new subdivision because they don't have any water. So they're trying to do this brackish project. I was on the phone with them for an hour and a half. Then they made it the next week, and they visited with us and our staff. So they made the run up here, about 6 of them from the district, to get more insight on our project because they're ready to go as well. So yeah, it's there.
The city of Sinton reached out, and I have a feeling they're going to be your next customer.
Okay, that's great. We'll get Richard right on it, our business development guy, Richard Whiting, yeah.
Well, it's just that when we were in Dallas, we were salesmen.
I can get you some shirts and.
What a paycheck.
And you know what was so astounding is how much I knew about this project. I actually knew what I was talking about. I was talking to these people, and
Thank you, Bill.
Built-in spokesman, that's great.
I was like, I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's going to be exciting for,
And Mayor, while we're on that, also just to let you know, so we do meet regularly also with the Texas Water Development Board on at least monthly meetings, and we're we run in the blend through them and the process through them also. So they're and their engineers are in those meetings as well. So yeah, it's we've got a lot of help working our project too with them.
I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for that presentation and updates. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately. 5.1, discuss, consider, and act upon approval of City Council minutes for November 7th, 2023, and special City Council minutes for the November 16th, 2023 City Council meetings. Council, if there's no objections to the consent agenda items or wanting them to have moved out of this, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Item 6, individual consideration. 6.1, discuss, consider, and act upon confirmation of the reappointment of Daniel Haygood, Bruce Hurt, and Denise Strait as commissioners to the Firefighters and Police Officers Civic Service Commission.
Mayor and Council, so Daniel Haygood, Bruce Hurd, and Denise Strait are commissioners to the Fire and Police Civil Service Commission, and we recertify them every year. They need to be recertified by January of every year, so we usually do this in January, but we're getting early by a month here, so I ask that you guys confirm them and reappoint them again to the Civil Service Commission.
Okay, council, any questions or discussion in reference to this agenda item? Okay. If there's no discussion or anything else in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
May I make a motion to confirm of the reappointment of Daniel Haygood, Bruce Hurd, and Denise Strait as commissioners to the Firefighters and Police Officers Civil Service Commission, sorry.
There you go. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay. Hearing none opposed, then motion carries. Thank you. 6.2, hold a public hearing to discuss, consider, and act upon adopting an ordinance to rezone Nava Addition, being an addition consisting of two 0.4481 acre tracts designated Tract B, recorded in volume A29, page 286, official records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and Tract C, recorded in volume A29, page 283, official records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and also being out of Farm Block 143 of the Alice Farm Block subdivision, a map of which is recorded in volume 1, page 62 of the transcribed map, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Mayor and Council, you want to open the public hearing? And then I'll do a little synopsis.
Okay. It's 2:59 p.m. right now, and we open this to the public. We open the public hearing. Sorry.
And I don't believe we have anybody here to speak on behalf or against this project, but in your packet, you should have a copy of the map of the location. This project did go before Planning and Zoning and was approved or recommended for approval. There were 14 letters that were sent out to the neighboring properties. No responses were sent back. The proposed project is to build a I believe it's a 3-plex or 4-plex apartment type home. And so in order to do that, he needs to rezone the property to allow that. That is it.
Council, any questions in reference to this at this time? Mr. Beltran?
No, I was just trying to get oriented where the location was going to be at.
What street is it on, or this area?
It's off of South Cameron?
It's where kind of the
Triangle.
where Cameron and
Old Kingsville Road.
Old Kingsville, I guess, or Randall, they kind of come together.
That
The
5
triangle
points
area.
area?
Right.
But it's
and
not
right
that,
there where the Y's
it's
at.
not that little triangle area.
it's right.
It's next.
The property right next
Like
right
two,
before it.
it says like 2 blocks.
They kicked
Right.
out the lots of it recently and all that. Work.
You see it, Mr. Beltran?
Yeah, I see it. Okay. I
Okay.
don't have any, I'm good.
Mr. Molina?
Yeah, I didn't find the planning and zoning in here. Was it unanimous?
Was it
Packet?
what?
I said the planning and zoning
Their decision.
What was the
Oh,
recommendation?
it was recommended for approval.
was unanimous?
Unanimous?
Unanimous, yes.
Okay. I have no question.
Mrs. Bowen?
And we're rezoning it to
R4.
Multi-family.
R4. Oh, there it is, R4 plan, okay. No, we're good.
Mr. Garza?
No, ma'am. I'm good. Thank you.
Close the hearing.
And, how many letters, and did you get any response?
There were 14 letters that were sent and 0 responses.
0 responses, okay. Anyone wishing to speak in reference to this agenda item is welcome to step forward and speak in reference to this item. Hearing and not seeing anyone that wishes to step forward in reference to this, we'll close our public hearing. It is 3:02 p.m. Okay? So if there's no other discussion, council, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, make a motion to adopt an ordinance to rezone Nava addition being an addition consisting of 2.4481 acre tracts designated tract B, recorded in volume 829, page 286, official records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and tract C, recorded in volume 829, page 283, official records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and also being out of Farm Block 143 of the Alice Farm Block subdivision, a map of which is recorded in volume 1, page 62 of the transcribed map, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Second.
Yes, sir.
To which zoning?
Oh.
Because we're gonna rezone it to which?
To what type of reason?
B,
B3 to R4.
Multifamily,
B3 to
R4?
R4.
To R4.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Second.
We have a first and a second.
Thank you, John.
All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Thank you, council. Moving on to 6.3, discuss, consider, and act upon accepting and approving a final plat being Escamilla Estates of 1 acre tract recorded in volume 1046, page 780, official public records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of lot number 4, block W of the NG Collins Farm Lots, recorded volume 4, page 49, map records, Jim Wells County, Texas. Okay,
Mayor, this property is currently one big property, and they're divided up into two properties, or two lots. The purpose for that is so that they can put a mobile home on the second lot. And there already exists there's already a mobile home on the existing lot, so they're dividing up. It's a pretty big property. You can see the dimensions in your packet. It did go before Planning and Zoning, and Planning and Zoning did recommend approval.
council, any questions, Mr. Garza?
No, ma'am, no questions.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Mr. Molina?
Okay, once again, it's not in here. So is planning and zoning unanimous? Okay.
Mr. Beltran? I'm sorry, was that, were there nothing else? I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Mr. Beltran?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. And I was just gonna ask, in this area, you said it's one big parcel, they just gonna section off a small piece, and there's already existing mobile home on that piece of property?
Correct.
And the surrounding area is also kind of mixed?
Yes, there's
There's
a mix
mixed.
of, there's
Do-
a cemetery right next to it, and then there's mobile homes, regular homes. There's a new subdivision right across from it. There's apartment complexes.
And it's public water and sewer in that area? Okay. And then you said that it was unanimous from the recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If there's no further discussion or questions in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Mayor, make a motion to approve a final plat being Escamilla Estate 1 acre tract recorded in volume 1046, page 780, official public records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of lot number 4, block W of the NG Collins Farm Lots, recorded volume 4, page 49, map records, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay. Then motion passes. Thank you.
Mayor, and on 6.4, I'm gonna ask that we pull that. We inadvertently put this on the agenda. and It shouldn't have been on there for planning and zoning, so I'm asking that we just pull the agenda item.
Okay. Okay, council.
Mayor, that's determination that he's pulling the item. It's just, you don't need to vote on it.
Okay, thank you. 6.5, hold a public hearing to discuss, consider, and act upon adopting an ordinance to rezone San Jose and South Stadium being 1 acre tract of land out of Lot 1, Block U, NG Collins Farm Lot subdivision as recorded in Volume 1, page 72, transcribed records of Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of that certain 102.5 acre tract of land conveyed to Jeff, it's J-E-F, Jason Russell the Fourth, William Sane Russell, and Molly Russell Evans via Executor's Deed recorded in Volume 1321, page 427, Deed Records, Jim Wells County, Texas. Okay, so this one does ask for a public hearing. At this time, it is 3:07 p.m. and I open the public hearing. Okay, anyone wishing to step forward, you're welcome to step forward to speak in reference to this agenda item.
Mayor, so this project is sort of an extension, or it's, if you go on South Stadium all the way down right before you get to San Jose Street, there's a copy of the map in your packet. There's a substation for electrical substation out there. This is property right adjacent to that, and they're looking at creating, I believe it's solar powered type energy. It's a little different, and it's gonna, but it's made to supplement the electrical grid system for this area. So that property is right next door. It's an empty field all around it. There are some residential properties right across to the south of that, but this development isn't anything different than what's already existing there with that substation that's there. We did have we sent a total of 12 letters to the neighboring properties, and we didn't get any responses back.
No response.
It did go before planning and zoning, and it was unanimous recommendation for approval.
Perfect.
What level are you rezoning it to?
Oh, good question. It should be on here.
Yeah, she didn't put it on the actual agenda summary, but it's going from an unzoned to a,
It should be in the public notice.
It's in there.
from a unzoned district to an industrial, so I'll put that in the motion.
To industrial. It's unzoned?
It's,
Industrial?
I think it was on that application or somewhere in there, so
It just says unzoned to industrial.
that
It
one.
was just something that wasn't like some of the other properties.
And if I may,
Sure.
interject, it's fine to leave it general and not say specifically the level it's gonna be rezoned to, in case it's just that you are consider rezoning. As long as it comes up during the discussion, what you're rezoning it to,
Okay,
then it should be sufficient.
so from
So we don't have
unzoned
to
to
indicate.
industrial.
Well, we'll need to indicate in your motion, as you did last time. So read all that stuff again, Robert, and just say to industrial, if you wanna rezone it.
Okay, council, any discussion or questions in reference to this? Well, I still have the, I don't think I've closed the hearing, so. I don't see anyone wishing to step forward and speak in reference to this agenda item. I will close the public hearing at this time. It is 3:10 p.m. Council, if there's no further discussion or questions in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, make a motion to adopt an ordinance to rezone San Jose and South Stadium Road being 1 acre of land out of Lot 1, Block U, NG Collins Farm Lot subdivision as recorded in Volume 1, page 72, transcribed records, Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of that certain 102.5 acre tract of land conveyed to J.E.F. Jason Russell IV, William Sane Russell, and Molly Russell Evans via executor's deeds recorded in Volume 1321, page 427, deed records, Jim Wells County, Texas, from unzoned to industrial.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, council. Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item 6.6, discuss, consider, and act upon awarding the contracts or invitations for sealed bids, Alice Chemical Bids, IFB 2023-004. Hi, Mr. Duarte.
Mayor, council, city manager, city staff, good afternoon. Invitations for sealed bids were published in the Alice Echo News October the 18th, then again October 25th. The notice is also posted on the city website. Bids were due by 3 p.m. on November the 3rd. Thereafter, they were open and read aloud. We did mail out 21 packets. We did receive 6. And they were the option of the 1 or 2 year bid was also there in the packet for the vendors. It's my recommendation on the following on items 1. You should have a packet breakdown in your packet on the bid tabulation. Items 1 through 4, 2 year to Chemtrade. Item number 5. 1 year to Chemtrade. Item number 6, 1 year to DPC. Item number 7, 1 year to Paladine. And item number 8, 1 year to DPC. I want to go back to number 7 real quick. Paladine did submit a 1 year and a 2 year bid, but based on the amount of inventory that we have at the plant, our current average use, we have about 350 days supply still left. I plan to order again in December of 24. And once I order those 4,400 gallons, a load of polymer, that should last over 600 days. So that's why the 1 year on that one, other than the 2 year.
Okay, council, any questions? Mr. Beltran?
Is there any incentive in ordering more? Is there a discount if we order?
Well, the thing is that it goes up a little bit. Just to give you some numbers real quick. The difference between on item number 1 from a 1 year and a 2 year bid is a little bit over 2 cents per gallon. We recommend to lock them in, not knowing what's going to happen down the road. That's why you have some items such as the caustic, the chlorine, and SO2 being so volatile that they always submit a 1 year bid. We did see some savings on the caustic. The caustic currently we're paying $2.30. Low bid is $3.40. Low bid is $2.52. So you're seeing a savings of 88 cents per gallon. Also saw a reduction of cost on item number 1. Currently we're paying 1.0742. Their bid came in a little bit over $1, a savings of 0.067 cents per gallon. Perfect. And like Council Member Mr. Garza mentioned, we see these numbers going up on a yearly basis. But again, once the RO water, the permeate is introduced, we'll see some savings on the chemical bid line.
Thank you.
Mr. Molina?
No, I have no questions.
No. Mrs. Bone?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Mr. Garza?
Not at the moment right now, thank you though.
I was gonna ask you, so when you go out for these bids, do you also like kind of get an idea and call other cities, other providers of the chemicals, just to
We do.
see
We
and
do
just
that
to
outreach.
alert them and
As well as whenever we go to water conferences, that's what we're looking for when we're doing our networking. Especially on some of the items that are, we only find one vendor that's bidding. For example, chlorine, the SO2, it's just DPC that bids on that here in the area. There are others in the valley, but do not bid for whatever reason. AOC used to be a vendor at one time, but they got out of the chemical business. So yeah, we do the outreach.
yeah. Okay. It's kind of strange, right? Like if you offer them the 2 year, that it's higher on their bid, but versus I guess because of the fluctuation or
That's
it being
correct.
so. Okay. Council, if there's no further questions or discussion in reference to this agenda item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to award the contracts for the Alice Chemical bids for IFB 2023-004, items 1 through 4 to Chemtrade, item 5 also to Chemtrade, item 6 to DPC, item 7 to SNF Polydyne, item 8 to DPC Industries.
Yes.
Is that correct?
If you would add as recommended to the end of it, just to cover everything.
As recommended.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you, Mr. Molina. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Metro. Appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Agenda item 6.7, discuss, consider, and act upon approving auction for sale of city-owned property and authorizing chief of police to negotiate and sign contract with Apple Towing Company. Hello, welcome, chief.
Mayor, council, thank you for having me here today. We've used Apple Towing in the past. We used them last year. This will be our second year, I think, going into it. So what they do is they sell our equipment. So like, for example, C's cars that are up for auction, they do everything for us from beginning to end. They do all the paperwork. We don't do anything. We just turn it over to them. They sell it. They get a percentage, which is 15% is what they get. And so our contract has come up for renewal. And so that's why we're presenting it here today. I know we used them for our vehicles. We also use now for the equipment for the city. On our last auction, we used Apple Towing. And so we want to continue to utilize Apple Towing.
Okay. Council, any questions? Mr. Beltran?
No, we go on the chief's recommendations.
Thank you, sir.
Whatever you decide, we'll support you.
Mr. Molina?
I have no questions. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mrs. Bowen?
Thank you, Chief, as always.
Mr. Garza?
I buy and sell state surplus, government surplus, and I've purchased from this company before. They're based out of Houston. They also have contracts for the U.S. Marshals. They have contracts for the federal taxes. They are very good at what they do. They have a very large footprint. A lot of people know them, use them. That helps us get more money because there are more people bidding on them. Our stuff that we sell, and I'm all for it. I mean, you can't. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Mayor, we're recommending the chief of police be able to negotiate the contract. In the past, the chief of police, whether it was Chief Ed or Chief Dandy or Chief Albert or Chief Rex, or that generally with these types of items, they can negotiate and sell the proceeds under the Code of Criminal Procedure, but we like to include city property, general city property in there as well. And so it's been presented to you guys in those regards, but Chief knows these people. It's going to be the same process. He's going to sell at the same time. So we would recommend you allow him the authority to negotiate the contract because he's familiar with the company and this thing rather than the city manager.
Thank you.
I don't agree. He needs more work.
No. I always tell them, let us handle it, sir. Let us handle it. We'll take care of it.
Okay. So if there's no further discussion or any questions, council, I'll entertain a motion in reference to this agenda item.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve auction for sale of city-owned property and authorizing chief of police to negotiate and sign contract with Apple Towing Company.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Okay, agenda item number 7, executive session. In accordance with Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapter D, the City Council will now recess into executive session, closed meeting, to discuss the following: the city council may enter into closed or executive session to discuss the following pursuant to consultations with its attorney, Texas Government Code, and subsection 551.071. 7.1, discussion authorizing city manager to negotiate a lease for a vacant lot located at 122 East Main Street to be used for downtown parking. 7.2, discussion authorizing city manager to negotiate a lease of property located at the corner of North Almond and East First Street, former Motor Bank Building, Alice, Texas. 7.3, discuss authorizing city manager to negotiate a lease of city-owned property for cell phone tower. 7.4, discussion authorizing city manager to negotiate a lease of city-owned property for Alice International Airport Site 9. Okay, so at this time, it is 3:22 p.m. We will enter into, I'm sorry, I have to, yes, I'm sorry, there's some more. Discussions about the value or transfer of real property, Texas Government Code and subsection 551.072. 7.5, discussion authorizing the sale of city-owned property, Brewer Addition, Lot 24, Block 3, known as 2107 Jocelyn Street, Alice, Texas. 7.6, discussion authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at Alice International Airport Site 9. Okay, sorry about that. At this time, we will enter into executive session. It is 3:23 p.m. you. We're back. Agenda item number 8, return to open session. Return to open session and take any action necessary as a result of discussions and preceding agenda item number 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4 pursuant to Texas Government Code and subsection 551.071, and agenda item 7.5 and 7.6 pursuant to Texas Government Code and subsection 551.072. Okay, council. I'll entertain motion.
Okay, on 7.1, Mayor, I make a motion authorizing city manager to negotiate and sign a lease of vacant property located at 122 East Main Street for the purpose of creating downtown parking and authorizing city manager to sign all necessary documents.
Second. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Your Honor, on
Yes.
or Mayor, on 7.2, we request that no action be taken on that.
Okay. 7.2, no action will be taken. Okay. 7.3,
Mayor, I make a motion authorizing city manager to negotiate and sign lease for the installation of a cell tower on city-owned property on South Stadium and allowing Atlas Tower to begin construction of said cell phone tower.
Second.
okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
Aye.
any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. 7.4,
Mayor, make a motion authorizing city manager to negotiate and sign all documents necessary for the lease of city-owned property for Alice International Airport Site number 9.
Second.
okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. 7.5,
Mayor, I make a motion adopting an ordinance of the city of Alice, Texas, authorizing the sale of city-owned real property by public action or by sealed bid under chapter 272.001 of the Texas Government Code and authorizing the city manager to accept the highest bid for the sale of city-owned property described as Brewer Addition, Lot 24, Block 3, known as 2107 Jocelyn Street, Alice, Texas.
Second.
okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. 7.6,
Mayor, make a motion to adopt an ordinance of the city of Alice, Texas, authorizing the sale of city-owned real property located at Alice International Airport Site 9 to Spencer Callahan.
Second.
okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Everything okay with that, Mr.? Okay. So none opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 9, adjournment. May I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 5:04 p.m. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.